Welcome to Nihal Academy. This is your physics mentor Pawan. Today we will discuss some very important questions from units and measurement which are useful for the NEET examination. So here the subtopic is units. First we will discuss very important questions from the units. That is the unit of universal gas constant. So what is the unit of universal gas constant? We know that ideal gas law, that is PV is equal to nRT. So from this we can write R is equal to PV by NT. Here R is the universal gas constant and P is the pressure, V volume, N number of moles and T temperature. So we know that. So what is the unit of pressure? Pascal. This is volume meter cube by number of moles, temperature, this is absolute temperature, so Kelvin. So you can write Pascal Newton per meter square into meter cube by mole into Kelvin. So here meter square and here meter square cancel, then it is equal to Newton meter by mole Kelvin. Newton meter is equal to joule. So joule per mole Kelvin. So the unit of universal gas constant R is equal to joule per mole Kelvin. So now also the second question, the unit of permittivity of free space. So how can we derive the unit of permittivity of free space? So from Coulomb's law we can write F is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square. Here F is the force between the two charges. So Q and Q2 are the charges. So 1 by 4 pi epsilon is the constant and R is the distance between the two charges. Now from this we have to write the unit of permittivity of free space, that is epsilon naught. So how can we write the epsilon naught? So epsilon naught cross multiplication F into 4 pi epsilon naught into R square is equal to Q1 Q2. Epsilon naught is equal to Q1 Q2 by F 4 pi into R square. So epsilon naught is equal to Q1 Q2 by 4 pi R square. Now here 4 pi is the constant. So Q1 Q2. So those are charges. The unit is Coulomb into Coulomb by force Newton and R square, distance between the two charges. So meter square is the unit. So this is equal to Coulomb into Coulomb, Coulomb square by Newton meter square. We know that Coulomb square by Newton meter is equal to 1 farad. So this is equal to farad by meter. Here what is that? Coulomb square by Newton meter is equal to 1 farad. So 1 Coulomb square by Newton meter is equal to 1 farad. So we can replace that 1 Coulomb square by Newton meter with 1 farad. So farad by meter. So this is the unit of permittivity of free space, that is epsilon naught is equal to farad by meter. Now also the next question, Wien's constant. So what is the unit of Wien's constant? So Wien's constant B, it is equal to the product of maximum wavelength and the temperature. So maximum wavelength, so lambda maximum is the peak wavelength of radiation and temperature of the black body. So the wavelength, what is the unit of wavelength? So the unit of wavelength is meter. So we can represent in meters. And so this is absolute temperature. So this is the temperature of the black body. So Kelvin. So it is equal to meter Kelvin. So meter Kelvin is the unit of Wien's constant. Now also the next question, the unit of Stefan's constant, that is sigma. From the Stefan-Boltzmann law, the Stefan-Boltzmann law explains about the amount of radiation produced by the black body. So what is the form of the Stefan-Boltzmann law? So power P is equal to sigma A T power 4. This is P is the power and sigma is the Stefan's constant and A is the area and T is the absolute temperature, that is temperature in Kelvin scale. So from this we can derive the unit of Stefan's constant sigma. So sigma is equal to, we can write that P by, when we send these two to left side, then divisible. So A T power 4. So this is equal to, so power unit is watt. So what is the unit of power? Watt. What is the unit of area? Meter square. So what is the unit of absolute temperature? Kelvin. And here 4 is there, so write there K power 4. So the unit of Stefan's constant is W. So watt by meter square Kelvin power 4. So this is the unit of Stefan's constant. The next bit is the unit of permeability of free space. So how to derive the unit of permeability of free space? So we'll use the formula B is equal to mu naught by 4 pi into Qi by R. Here B is the magnetic field, 4 pi is the numerical values and 2 is the numerical value, I is the current and R is the radial distance. So from this we can write mu naught. So mu naught cross multiplication, mu naught into 2I is equal to B into 4 pi into R. So from this mu naught is equal to, send the 2I to right side, then B into 4 pi into R by 2I. Here 4 pi and 2 are the constants. So this we can take it as B into R by I. So what is B? Magnetic field. The unit of magnetic field strength is Tesla and R is the distance, so meter, Tesla meter by. The unit of current is ampere. The Tesla we can write as Weber per meter square into meter by ampere. So here meter cancel. So this is equal to Weber by meter and ampere. So ampere into meter. So this is Weber by ampere. So Weber by ampere, it is equal to 1 Henry. So it is equal to H by M. So here what is this? 1 Weber by ampere, it is equal to, so we can write 1 Weber by ampere, this is equal to 1 Henry. So this is equal to, so the unit of permeability of free space mu naught is equal to Henry by meter, Henry per meter. Now also the next question, if x is equal to at plus bt square, while x is the distance traveled by the body in kilometers, while t is the time in seconds. Then the unit of B is, here he asked to calculate the units of B. So the equation is given that, so we'll take that equation, x is equal to AT plus BT square. As per the principle of homogeneity, we know that the dimensions of x and AT and BT square are equal. That means all they are in the same units. So we can equate that BT square, it is equal to the x, because the units of x are equal to the units of BT square. The dimensions of x, it is equal to the dimensions of BT square, and the dimensions of x, it is equal to the dimensions of AT. So we can equate this BT square to x, because we have to calculate units of B. So BT square is equal to x. So x means, what he said, that distance traveled by body in kilometers. So what is the unit of x? So BT square is equal to kilometers, and T is the time in seconds. So we have to calculate the unit of B, then we'll send the T square to other side, then it is equal to kilometer by T square. So T square means here, so kilometer by T is the time, so time in seconds, so it is equal to second square. So the unit of B is equal to kilometer per second square. So this is the unit of B. So we can derive the units when the equations are given by using the principle of homogeneity. Thank you. Like, share and subscribe the channel to support.